we're ready to start today's yoga flow class, I'm going to open with this intention. I can heal myself on all levels. Healing means to make whole and accept all parts of myself, not just the parts I like, but all of me. I can heal myself on all levels, not just the parts that I like. I'm going to love it all. So as you rest here on the earth, starting down on the ground, maybe your arms are reaching wide out to the sides, or maybe they're staying a little closer today, maybe resting on your belly. Wherever you are, as you start to let those shoulders settle down into the earth. Your legs are long and extended, or your knees are bent, whatever feels best to your low back. Deepening that full inhale, giving ourselves a nice healing breath, releasing to relax, letting the shoulders drop down, the hips, the legs, everything feels kind of heavy here to start. And then just start to add a little bit of movement. Head might sway from side to side as if your nose was painting on the ceiling. Hands might open and close. Toes might start to point and flex. And then just take your time to slowly start walking the feet up a little closer to you. Knees are going to bend towards the sky. Back is relaxed on the earth. And then hug that right knee into your chest. Go ahead and give it a nice good squeeze. And then bring the hands down by the sides of your hips. And as you exhale, just press this foot up towards the sky. Inhale, hug it back. You might bring your hands back to grab the leg. And then exhale, just give it one more push up towards the ceiling. Now from the ceiling, let this right foot come over and rest on your left knee. Create a little figure four shape. You're going to take the palm of your right hand and put it right in that hip crease. So just kind of giving a little massage where the thigh kind of meets your upper body, right in that crease that you created. Beautiful. It's a gentle hip opener. Inhale, breath. Let that hand come back to earth. Lift the foot to the sky. Exhale, breath, bring that foot back down to your mat. Switch sides. Left knee hugs into the chest. Hands come down by hips. Push the heel. Left foot lifts. Left leg gets long. Exhale, hug the knee back into the chest. Give yourself one more good squeeze. And then reach that foot again. Push it up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend the knee, bring the left ankle over to place it on your right knee. Take the left palm of the hand right there in that hip crease and give this a little massage. So you're kind of pushing with the bottom portion of your palm right there in that crease. All right, beautiful work. Inhale, hand comes back to earth, foot lifts. And then bring both feet back to ground. Walk the heels as close as you can get them to your hips. Set for bridge. Inhale, breath, lifts hips up off the ground. Beautiful. Exhale, breath starts to drop the hips back down towards the earth. Inhale, breath, lifts the hips up off the ground. Exhale, breath, gently lifts and drops those hips back to the earth. Now we're going to lift. Last one. On the inhale. Exhale, let it fall back. Both knees come into the chest this time. Inhale, breath, knees in. Exhale, breath, push heels towards the ceiling. Inhale, breath, knees to chest. Exhale, breath, heels to ceiling. Inhale, breath, knees to chest. This time as you exhale, let your arms stretch high up overhead and then back towards the wall behind you. Now you look like a letter L, heels pointing up towards the sky. Exhale, breath, bend the knees, hands circle around, grab the shins. Inhale, breath, heels and fingers reaching in opposite directions. Exhale, hug that nice and tight. Perfect. We're going to rock this right and left a little bit on the low back and then get yourself up to seated. So you can go forward and back or just roll to one side. And then when you find your seat, we're not going to be here too long. Just get comfortable. I'm turning just so I can see you better. Hands reach out to the sides. My heart is lifted nice and tall and proud. Eyes closed. Take a full inhale. Lift the shoulders towards your ears. And then just settle them down. Inhale, breath, both hands reach to the sky. Exhale, breath, left hand falls to the earth. Right hand reaches up and over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold other direction. Just letting that side wall talk to you. Inhale, back up. Let's go back to that first side where we started, but let this top hand kind of reach down just out in front of that left knee. Inhale this up, both hands over to the other side, just as you did. So you're adding that side body, but you're also getting a little twist in here. Back up. Beautiful. Exhale, let these hands drop to your heart. Inhale, lace. Exhale, press the palms straight forward, and then let's kind of drive this a little bit right and left. Perfect. All right, next time the inhale feels natural, those hands are going to come back in towards the heart and then start to reach back behind you, just letting them find the earth on either side, maybe lift right out through the heart. Chin might even lift slightly towards the ceiling. Relax those shoulders away from your ears. Perfect, good work. All right, easy walking of those hands forward. You're going to move yourself on to hands and knees, tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take just a breath or two in that table. I'm going to turn sideways so I'm a little easier to be seen. Belly drops down towards the earth, chin and tail lift. Exhale, breath, round the spine. So you know this one, just cat-cow, nothing fancy here. Just take your time to really breathe into the spine. Let it have some attention, some spinal flexing. Perfect. Last one. Next time you get to that angry cat, sit your hips back onto your heels. Exhale. Release the tension through the shoulder blades, down the back, through the spine, all the way to the tip of your tail. All right. When you inhale next, bring yourself up to a half plank. It's like a push-up on your knees. You want your wrists and your shoulders, two straight lines. Curl your toes under. Inhale, breath here. Exhale, breath. Keep those toes curled under. Sit hips back towards heels. Take puppy pose. So the chest kind of surrenders to the ground. Your hips stay a little bit higher. That's your exhale. Your inhale is to come back to the half plank. And then when you're ready, exhale again. Hips lift up and you take a down dog. So we're going to take a little pattern here. So your inhale, breath, knees drop. Half plank. Exhale, breath, child's looking pose, but it's actually puppy pose. Inhale, back to the half plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips lift high. These look excellent. Inhale, knees back to the ground. Exhale, hips on heels. Surrender the chest down. Back to your half plank. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Stay here 3 breaths. So walk this dog now. So bend the knees, push the hips around here a little bit. Get that spine nice and long. You can even lift one foot up off the ground and kind of roll around the ankles. All right, next exhale. Knees are going to drop to ground, but then you're just going to bring your hands towards your body and come up onto high knees. Now I'm going to switch just so I can face you. If at home or even here, this is a little tender on your knees, you can always take a little bit of your mat, fold it again just to give yourself a double roll, or like Jared's using a towel, perfect. Any of those options work. You want your knees shoulder distance apart. You're gonna inhale, breath, reach. Exhale, breath, hands to heart. Let the hands slide out here by your hips. The next time you inhale, you're gonna sit slightly back towards your heels. Let your hands reach around, clasp, shoulders roll. Exhale, let the hands drop back by your hips, turn your palms, push them away. Beautiful. Inhale, reach. Exhale, push away the waves. Standing tall with that heart. Inhale, reach. So you're getting a little quad work here. Getting lots of shoulder work. Giving the spine a little attention as it rounds. Getting into those obliques, trapezius muscles of the upper back and shoulders. There's a lot really working here. Guys, you're doing excellent. Take one more. So one more after that one, so that we're all together. Pause at a nice tall spine, hands down by hips. Turn the palms so they face forward, and then you're gonna starburst. So your hands are just gonna flip forward and back until we get these hands all the way up over the head. So just take your time. Once the hands reach the tall ceiling, you'll exhale, hinge and fold back down. Put yourself into either child's or curl those toes under. Walk your chest forward and put yourself into puppy pose. So the difference between child's and puppy pose, child's pose, toes are curled under, your hips are real small, you're in a very tight ball, chest is laying on the thighs. When you do puppy pose, hands are further forward, chest surrenders out here. It's much more about opening up the upper part of the chest, and your hips stay high. So they're very different. It's a personal preference sometimes. All right, when you're ready, let's get ourselves to down dog. Hips are lifted. If you're not already there. And then we'll take small steps to the feet. Just get yourself up here towards a forward fold. First one of this morning's practice. Head is heavy. Half lift when the spine feels ready. Exhale, fold. Feet plant. Inhale, reach and look up to the ceiling. Cactus, arms open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Keep moving through. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Hands come in and rest at the heart. Take 3 full breaths here, closing eyes, making Tadasana. Feet are probably shoulder distance apart. We're really lifting up through the heart. Crown of the head is flat up towards the sky. Spine is long. All right, when you feel ready, your inhale breath this time, exhale, bend the knees, sweep the hands back by your hips, make your spine really long, as if you were kind of downhill skiing right now. Spine is long. Inhale, breath, reach these hands up. Exhale, breath back down into that ski jumper pose. 2 more, up. Back down the hill. Up. Back down the hill. Sweep the hands towards your toes, forward fold, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot towards the back of your mat. Go ahead and drop that right knee all the way down into the ground. I'm gonna adjust my camera here real quick because I can't see the earth. There we go. Perfect. Sweep the hands up nice and tall. Let them be on either sides of the body. Low lunge. Beautiful work here. When you feel ready, exhale, fold the hands down towards this front foot. Curl the toes under on your back leg. Knee lifts up off the ground. Feel strong here. Really appreciate the muscles of your legs as that back leg gets a little more length. You are always welcome to add blocks. This is a great place for it if you have those at home or here in studio. When you're ready, back knee is going to drop to the ground. Sweep the hands back up. You're going to allow the arm, so your left arm, the same as that leg that's lifted or forward, it's going to fall to the side as your right hand reaches over top. Again, another place for a block if you want it. Inhale, bring these hands back up nice and tall. Exhale, cartwheel forward towards the earth. Front foot's going to step back to that same half plank we played with earlier. This time, as you exhale, though, you're going to lower belly all the way to the ground. One cobra. So hands up the armpits, just a gentle lift. Back down. Hands move back even with the breastbone. Put yourself ready for an upward facing dog, but you're just going to push to your knees. Lift hips, downward facing dog. Walk that out. Right foot lifts high to the sky when you feel ready. Beautiful. Bring that right foot down. Let's see if we can do 3-leg on the other side. Left leg lift. Bring it back down. Small steps or a large leap. Feet move up towards your hands. Half lifting when you feel ready. Long spine. Fold to the earth. Beautiful work. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, cactus. Immediately go into an inhale, reaching back up. And then back to that ski jumper, your chair pose with hands back. Exhale, sweep hands towards your toes. Beautiful. Left foot now steps back. Left knee drops to the ground. Take your time. Figure out how you're going to get comfortable on this knee. Bring in any props if you need them. Hands will come up. Again, taking your time. All right, now the same knee that is forward. We're going to take that side body stretch before we do the long leg this time. So we're going to drop our right hand down. Left arm reaches over. We'll get the power in that back leg here in just a moment. Let's take this side body stretch first this time. Perfect. Hands start to reach back up. They cartwheel down. You can put hands on blocks or on the earth. Curl the toes under on that back leg. Make that leg strong if that works for you this morning. Paying attention to this front ankle. So ideally, it's in a good line with this knee. If it's not, we want it at least out in front of the knee, not underneath. All right, now you have two choices. You can drop the knee back down to the ground, then step the foot back, put yourself in half plank, or you can step this foot all the way back and put yourself in full plank. True vinyasa, for those of you who are used to that, from here to upward facing dog to down dog. Or you can take something a little more modified. Exhaling, knees drop, belly drops to the earth. Cobra or up dog, your choice. Remembering up dog, wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Cobra is just a gentle lift. You can transition through your knees to down dog, or take a big lift of those hips up towards the ceiling. Once you hit this down dog, move it around a little bit now. Let's separate the feet as wide as the mat. Maybe rock the hips a little bit side to side. Good. All right, friends, when you feel ready, feet are back towards the middle of the mat. They're going to take those same steps or leap up towards your hands. Find the forward fold. Really let go of the tension from your neck and shoulders there. Exhale, fold, plant the feet. Big reach, hands up. Cactus. Straight into that ski jumper. Last one. Exhale, bend the knees, chair pose, hands sweep back. Hold. Flow to your toes. Beautiful. Just folding down. Head shakes yes. Head shakes no. Half lift. Drop the hands back towards the earth or to your blocks. Right foot steps back. And then you're just going to spin that right heel so it touches the earth, and you start to look for warrior one. I'm kind of showing it this direction for a moment, and then I'm going to switch because I like to face you. So my right foot is at a slight angle, left knee is forward, arms are up, warrior one. So warrior one is about hip flexors. It's about really trying to open up this back hip. You guys all look great. Just make sure that back knee doesn't feel irritated at all. As you exhale, take that same ski jumper principle, send those hands back, chest comes forward. Inhale, bring it back up. So just take your time here. And do about 2 more of these, just letting the arms float with your own natural pace of breath. Always exhaling when you fold. Always inhaling when you stand. When you get here, pause. Left knee is forward, so left hand reaches, tries to tap you on the upper back as you bring the other arm over towards that elbow, making a little tricep stretch. Beautiful. Inhale to release both hands up, and then we're going to turn this to balance. So you're going to try to spin up on these back toes just enough to put lift into that front leg, and then just see if you can lift this knee up. So you're still standing on the same leg that was forward. You just got that back leg. Lift it up. And your arms can reach for the sky, or they can come out to the sides, or even down here to the ground. Perfect. Let this lifted foot settle. Half sun salutations, a big lift. Big fold, exhale. Halfway lifting. And then fold. Plant the feet, inhale breath, reach the hands up, cactus shape again. Hands come into heart. All right, when you're ready, this time we're just gonna go ahead and just step straight into that warrior one on the other side. So your left foot steps back, right knee finds bend. Ideally, your right knee is in line with about your second toe. It's got good alignment there. This back leg, your foot turn out just slightly. We don't want it all the way to warrior two. Kind of in between those two. Hips are square, arms are up, and then you're floating. Exhaling down, putting weight into that front leg. Inhaling up. So we did about 4 of these on the other side. That's about what we're gonna do again. Guys look great. Pausing there, knee that's forward, that same hand's gonna pat you on the upper back. Other arm reaches over. Takes the tricep stretch for a breath, really plays with your balance for a moment. Hands start to reach up, and this is where we're gonna spin up on those back toes, put some power into the front leg. Whatever it takes to get into that big balance shape. You've got the other leg lifted this time, maybe your T, maybe your low V. And the height of this leg is going to be completely up to you. It can be kind of a toe tap, or it can be in a higher lifted shape. One more breath. Perfect. Let it set itself down. Half sun salutation. Reach up, look up. Those of you who are accustomed to full sun salutations, you want to jump back or step back and go through a vinyasa, feel free. Half lifting there, then you can move on from us. You can plant the hands, step the feet, you can plank. The rest of us, we're just gonna come back and hang out in mountain pose, letting the hands drop down, rest at your heart and breathe. Feel free to close the eyes, stand strong through the feet. Let the spine feel extended and tall towards the ceiling. Those who are finishing that round of vinyasa, just take your time to join us again. All right, as we feel ready, the inhale breath adds length to our arms. Exhale, lace the hands and lean to the right. My hands are in kind of a Charlie's Angel look. Hands back to center, take it over to the other side. Lots of side body attention right there. Beautiful work, bring that back to center. Exhale, rest the hands down towards your heart. All right, we're gonna take just a little bit of space for kind of trickier balance today. I'm I'm gonna skip this song because it's going to be way too upbeat for balance. All right, we're gonna put our right foot down into the earth. And if you recall, when we were back on our backs and we made that like figure 4 shape, we're gonna do that in balance form today. So I'm gonna show you the most modified version would be something similar, well, the most modified version, you'd use like a block. That's about your most modified version. Second step up would be the toe on the earth or the foot over here across the calf. Up a level would be foot up towards that knee. Okay, and then you sink down. Sorry, my mind was trying to figure out why this music wasn't playing, and so as a result, my balance was a mess. It won't skip this song, skip it. Okay, so those are your options. Standing on that leg, block, floor, calf, knee. And it's just like that ski jumper. You're gonna feel the strongest you'll feel in your legs is when you really sit into that shape. So here you're gonna feel like a wobbly mess, but the minute you start to sink down, trust me, you'll feel a little stronger through this standing leg. So you don't have to go real big today because you're not on a wall, but those of you at home, of course, if you want to move to a wall or a couch or a chair or something, you can too. So just pick a leg, relax your shoulders, and then we'll find that shape. So the foot is flexed, it's over and across, and it's a big one, so it's all right if you don't stay here super long. 2 more breaths if you can hold it. All right, give yourself a release. Start to stand up, uncross the legs. Step maybe as wide as the mat. Give your hips a little bit of space, give your knees a little bit of space. And then take a big fold, turn it to ragdoll. So when you fold down, your right hand's gonna look for your left elbow, left hand's gonna look for your right elbow, and you're gonna sway. All right, start to get to a position where hands can come out of ragdoll, halfway lifting, getting the spine nice and long. Exhale, fold, plant the feet, big inhale, hands reach up. Maybe cactus, maybe the letter Y, maybe even the letter T since we've got the space. And then just bring those hands back in close, bring the feet back underneath of you, start thinking about power, thinking about stability, grounding through that standing leg. You're gonna switch sides. So whatever leg you were standing on last time, we're gonna switch it up. Keeping those hips square as you start to sink. Hands maybe are at the heart, maybe they're out to the sides. Yourself one more full breath. This is good. Like this side of the body knew what was up. It's a little bit more prepared. Perfect, good work. Start to stand tall, feet spread wide. Fold again, give yourself a big inhale. Maybe this time you ragdoll again, or optional, kind of a fish hook. So take 2 fingers, first 2 fingers, maybe they come around between your big toe and your second toe. Your head gets real heavy, you bend your knees. You can sway there, or you can start to gently lift your tail up towards the sky and let the back sides of those legs have a chance to open up. Beautiful work. Releasing the toes if you've been holding on, or dropping the hands down if you've been in ragdoll. We'll find a half lift. We'll drop towards the earth. Reach those hands up nice and tall, opening to T, Y, or cactus. And then just bring the hands back in and place them at your heart. Now we've got our feet kind of wide, so we're going to step back up towards the front of our mat. Move through a little bit of warrior and triangle next. So when you feel ready, your right foot will step backwards. So turn those right toes so that they are parallel with the back of your mat. I'm going to switch here. Arms start to move to a T position. So you've got back leg long, arms nice and wide. And then reverse warrior. So flip this front hand, lean away from the front of the room. Back to warrior two, side angle, elbow drops, hand reaches forward. Taking this side angle, take the hand that's forward and just let it circle. So it's going to be like painting the front wall, painting the floor, and then reaching its way back up to find that side angle. Sink in, one more breath. Back to warrior two. Reverse warrior, same rhythm. I'm going to switch here so I can see you. Perfect. Back to warrior two, side angle, elbow drops, hand reaches forward, let it paint. Sweep down and back up. Pause in the side angle. One more breath. Beautiful. Back to warrior two, straighten front knee, thinking about triangle. So for me, my best triangle is when I take these back toes and just give that hip just a slight turn. Arms reach for T, and then I take my front hand and really reach forward like I'm going for something, and then hinge right at that hip crease. Hand might be able to make it to the ground. It might go on a block. It might reach for big toe. Might hang out inside the ankle or on the calf, wherever you are. You guys look really great. All right, softening the front knee if you need it. Take your time, bring your chest back up, and then straighten that front leg again. Do reverse triangle, lean away. Excellent work. Back to warrior two. One more balance element on this side. Hands are going to slide forward towards the front of your mat as you turn on those back toes. Weight shifts forward. Warrior three. Hands can go back by your hips. Straight forward, or airplane. One more breath, don't have to hold it very long. I know we've done a lot of balance. Good, sweep that leg back up. Take a nice healing breath here. Reach the hands up and then just open to T or cactus or V. Let the hands settle back into your heart. And then just breathe. One more strong breath here, keeping that pelvis nice and square. Staying where you are. All right, now we're ready for warrior all on the other side. Left foot steps back. So let's switch sides so I can watch. Left foot steps back. It's parallel with the back of your mat. Right knee is bent. Arms are long. And then everything in reverse. So you take whatever your front hand is, you lean away from the front of the room. Back to your warrior two, side angles talking to you now. Paint the wall, let that shoulder take a full sweep. This gets us ready for that triangle. Back to warrior two, big breath, flip and release, lean away from me, keeping that front knee bent. Beautiful work. Back through side angle, just taking your time. It's fluid. Sweeping that hand, big circular motion, just like you did before. Lift the chest to your warrior two. Start to straighten this front knee. Back toes might turn just slightly in to kind of turn that hip a little bit more forward. Reach big first. Really feel this inner thigh kick on and then hinge right at that hip crease. Yep, that gives you so much more flexibility. Keeps that hip in the socket where it's supposed to be. Allows you to stack those arms on top of one another. Softening that front knee when you feel ready. Back up. Reverse triangle. So then the leg goes straight again. Yep, these look great. Back to warrior two. And then we're going to spin on that back foot. This is where we take our balance up a notch again. Shift the weight forward, maybe sweep the arms while you do. You can take it to a capital T. You can fly with arms out to the side in kind of an airplane. Get back by your hip. One more breath. Bring that leg down to meet your standing foot when you're ready. Big breath up. Exhale, fold. Let's take a full sun salutation now. So if you're not up at the front of the mat in this forward fold, kind of walk yourself up forward. Half lift when you feel ready, long spine, really pointing that crown towards the front of your mat. Exhale, fold, hands go to the earth. Step the feet back. You can be in a high plank or plank on your knees, option for you. Exhale, start to move towards your mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then either exhaling to child's pose, puppy pose, or downward facing dog. You've got 3 breaths in whatever pose you choose. So if you want to start in down dog, and then maybe you feel like I want to drop to my knees, or maybe you want to lift the down dog after a breath or so. Those who are in down dog, really let the tension in your neck get soft. Really push those hips back towards the wall behind you. These look excellent. All right, for those of us who are in down dog, drop to your knees. If you're already in child's pose or puppy pose, slowly start to bring yourself up. We're going to play on high knees again. So if you know last time that was a little sensitive, just reach for part of your mat, kind of roll it towards you, and then crawl up on top of that so you got an extra layer. Come up onto high knees, and then you have the option here to kind of curl the toes under to make your leg platform a little taller. We're going to experiment with a little bit of camel. We've done some shoulder opening, we've done some heart opening, so this should feel good today. When you're ready, swim with your right hand up towards the ceiling, and then just start to peek over that right shoulder back towards your right heel. And this may be where you stop today. And do it in series, in stages. Inhale, right hand comes back forward. Exhale, swim the left hand back. So we're going kind of slow-mo into camel today. Maybe seeing if we can get a few more into a fuller shape. Inhale, swim that left hand up. Now this time, as you swim your right hand back, your left hand's gonna kind of curl up with it, point towards the ceiling, and the left hand kind of points, or the right hand points towards that ankle. Now, if you can turn your head away from looking at your ankle, feel free to let it look up towards that left hand. Hips are staying square. Perfect. Let the left hand fall as the right hand comes back up. Kind of a windmilling motion. Both arms settle, and then we go the other way. Left arm strokes first as the right hand lifts. Gaze at that left ankle if you want, or just turn your head to look up towards this right hand. Perfect. Exhale, let both hands come back forward, easing their way down. Now your third and final version of this might be full extension for those of you who are comfortable with that. Others, it's gonna just look like this, like your hands might cartwheel and then just kind of settle in here to your low back as you lift your heart. Or you might cartwheel one at a time and let both hands reach for those heels as the heart lifts. Or more modified version is going to be hands here at your low back. The point of this is a good stretch, but if you got an achy low back, something's off. Either our shoulders aren't quite open yet, shoulders not quite ready yet, back is too tight still, pelvis is too tight. There's lots of things that can kind of get in the way here, so it's okay. You can take a softer version. And you notice I use the words like yet, because even though I've been practicing yoga for a long time, I'm still evolving all the time. My practice changes, become more flexible sometimes, more achy other times. We're always changing. Those of you who are in that bigger shape, take your time, come out. If you've got hands on hips, we're going to start to settle from that. So let the hands kind of slide down your body. And then I'm going to give you two options. You can stay here. You can drop to hands and knees. Or if you're able, you're going to start to sit your hips back and sit on the tops of your heels. Now, not everybody likes that hero shape where your hips and your tail are sitting right onto those heels. Of course, if you can take the more advanced version of hero where you leave space between your heels and your hips sit on down in between, go for it. But I'm not going to take that today. It's a little too big for me today. But remember, if this shape doesn't work, you can take something different. You can just kind of hang out, hands and knees, or even child's pose. Those of us who've been sitting in hero or a modified hero, let's go ahead and start to let the chest collapse back down. So you can keep the mat rolled if you've had it rolled. You can even bring your hands up here and let them hide behind the back of your head. You can stretch your arms out onto the cold floor, or you can unroll your mat if you'd like to get it back out in front of you. Child's pose for 3 more breaths. You're in your safe little bubble there, so feel free to breathe. Let the air exhale right into the mat. Let your body feel released. Shift is about so much more than just our physical asana, this movement that we take on the mat. This time that you set aside for yourself to come to classes here or do them with us online is about allowing the body to kind of sort through things. Isolate what's most important and useful and let go of everything else. This is why yoga feels different than other forms of exercise, because we have this extra element to release that. Let it go. Beautiful. Slowly starting to become aware of the breath. We're going to move from our child's pose back towards hands and knees. Place your right hand directly underneath your face. Use your inhale breath to lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then when you feel ready, this left hand's just going to slide across the mat, probably on an exhale. You'll let that left hand stay flipped up towards the ceiling, and it just kind of tucks underneath of you. You might walk the right hand further out in front and really get a big stretch for the shoulders, or this might all start to soften. You might sit back towards your heels and maybe not take that arm quite so deep underneath. It's going to be completely up to you as to what feels most appropriate. It's an easy shoulder stretch. But if you feel like, yeah, just drop down, put your elbow on the ground, really relax into it. We don't want to feel like we're working too hard. When you feel ready, some of you are beyond ready. You can tell by your body language. Inhale, release that arm, bring it back up. Exhale it down. Sometimes that sits well and sometimes it doesn't. Left hand under the face, right hand left. You know the drill now. Your body knows what to anticipate as we slide this hand across the mat, opposite palm flipping up. Remember, we can kind of collapse onto our head, our elbow, everything kind of moves into the ground, or you can kind of sit back onto your heels and just take kind of an easy child's pose with that arm just barely stretching underneath. We're all working with different tensions in the body, so just kind of pay attention to what works for you. Good. All right, when you feel like right, that's been a good stretch. Just take your time, start to come out of that shape. Send the hand back up to the sky, perhaps, maybe bring it back down to the earth. And then you're just gonna take your time to get onto your seat. So maybe your knees crisscross underneath and you kind of fall over your lap, or they slide around sides. If you brought a block with you today, go ahead and reach for that. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. But if you have one, it might be helpful. Put yourself in just a seated posture first. I'm going to turn so I can see you. The legs are nice and long down the mat. Invite your right knee in towards the body, and then just put this right foot on the inside of the left thigh. Invite the left toes up towards the ceiling. Reach the hands nice and tall, and then you're just going to fold straight forward towards this leg. Obviously, just like in our standing forward folds, we're trying to fold right over that hip crease, dropping the chest down towards that front knee. All right, as your inhale comes back up, you're going to reach your right hand up towards the sky. Let it kind of circle behind you, place itself down on the earth. Invite this left hand up as you lift your hips and reach and kind of look up and behind you. Beautiful. Starting to set those hips back down. Perfect. Hands coming back towards the lap. We'll just switch sides. Bring this opposite knee back up. Send it long. Switch it out. Drop it down. Get your sits bones so they're making connection. Chest lifts, toes up tall, and then fold right over that lap. Beautiful work today. Good inhale starts to bring you up. Left hand starts to circle up and behind you. It's about 2 feet or so out away from your hips. And then we just start to lift, reach, and look over that head. So my palm is planted, my fingers are facing away from my toes. Good. Take your time, start to let that settle. Hands coming back around, standing this knee back up. Legs go long, seated forward fold, both legs long, reach. Toes to the sky, exhale, fold. One breath here. Allow that chest to collapse down towards the thighs. Inhale, breath, bring you back up tall. Invite the soles of the feet towards one another, bound angle, Baddha Konasana. Pinky toes touch, big toes fall out and open. You can be tight, the heels are nice and close, or this can be more of a diamond shape if that feels irritating to the knees. Chest lifts, and then just take your time to fold. All right, beautiful work. Chest starts to come back up. We'll move hands towards the outer edges of those knees. Let them be helpful assistants to stand the knees towards the sky. And then you're just going to head backwards onto your back. I'm going to turn just so I don't run out of space. But head back onto your back and then just listen first to your own body. It might naturally ask you to hug your knees in, or it might ask you to kind of roll around, stretch tall. All sorts of different movements might feel good in the body. Those of us who are in person today, the music is saying ease, release, relief. That's what this part of the practice is about, easing in, releasing those tired, achy muscles, and finding relief, not only for our physical body, but for our mind as well. Maybe inviting that right knee into the chest. Extend the left leg nice and long. And then you're just going to hug that right knee over and across the body. Maybe give yourself a little spinal twist here. Opposite arm might reach out into T. Using these final moments of today's practice just to stay present with the breath. Be easy with our inhales and our exhales. No worry about the perfect pose. This is just about relaxing into the earth. We'll take our time to come out of that twist. If you've had your right knee over, start to bring it back towards center. Maybe move around a little bit on the back or the spine, and then just switch out your legs. Take time to release the other side. Bringing that opposite knee into the chest. Point and flex toes if you want, and then just invite it over for the spinal twist, going in the opposite direction. Obviously, reaching out wide and long with that arm if you'd like. Got plenty of space, so enjoy being able to move freely, either from the comfort of your home or those of you in the studio. Start to feel complete here on this side. Just ease your way back towards center. Let both legs go long down the mat. Reach the fingers in opposite directions of your toes. Take your body nice and long, walking the heels towards the right edge of your mat. Inhale, lift head, neck, shoulders up towards the sky, and then reach again over towards that right edge of the mat with the arms, taking kind of a banana shape with the spine. Relax the shoulders, bend the elbows if you need to. And then just take your time to move everything back towards center. Easy and slow. Finding what feels good. We'll walk those heels over to the other side of the mat. Head, neck, shoulders, lift and stretch. Softening those elbows and shoulders. Start to bring everything back to center. We're going to soften our arms so much so that when the head comes back to center, our arms take cactus. Put your elbows down into the floor next to you. Really walk those shoulder blades out from underneath, palms flipping towards the sky. Bend the knees and walk the heels of the feet a little closer to your glutes. Separate the feet as wide as the mat or close to it. And then just let those knees fall in towards one another. constructive rest. Now, depending on where your feet are, it might feel better to walk the feet a little further away from the glutes, have more wider angles between the hips and the heels. For others, it's going to feel better to walk those heels in closer to the glutes. It's a gentle stretch, outer edges of the hips. But of course, if it causes any discomfort in the knees, your feet might be too wide. You might need to bring your feet in a little closer. Just feel heavy through your chest and heart. Really let that sink down right in between those shoulder blades. Let your hips feel relaxed. Your knees falling in. Let your low back find whatever natural curve it wants to be in here. You might allow your head to sway a little bit right and left, as if you were trying to massage the back of your skull. And then once more, we'll find ease, release, and relief, moving in to whatever version of Savasana feels best to you. You can soften from that constructive rest into more of a traditional pose. Or you can move to your right or left side. You can take bound angle. Those of you at home can move into something different, legs up the wall or using a prop, however you'd like. But just take your time here to start to say goodbye to this morning's practice. Write your final thank you note to your physical body for being here, supporting, moving, breathing, flowing through this practice alongside your fellow yogis. And just let everything start to become soft, including your breath. Relaxing the muscles of the face, cheeks, the chin. Let that feeling of relaxation move all down your spine. Slowly starting to become aware of your breath. Invite back in some gentle movements of the body, maybe wiggling the fingers or the toes, maybe bending the knees. Whatever movements make most sense from whatever posture you found yourself in. Start to remove yourself from that rested state back to a seated position. Finishing out today's class, we'll end with this final reading entitled Seeking and Striving. I am seeking I am striving. I am in it with all of my heart. Vincent van Gogh. Greatness springs from deep commitment. Yet as much as we may want to commit to greatness, our lives don't always seem to cooperate. We still have to get up every day, make breakfast, go to work, run errands, clean the house, all of the activities that take up so much of our time. The solution is a simple one. Commit fully to even the most mundane tasks. We can live our life, every part of it, in every moment, with all of our heart. The alternative is to live much of our life without passion. I will consider each day a gift to be embraced with everything I have. I will consider each day a gift to be embraced with everything I have. I greatly appreciate you making this time for yourself, not only for your physical body, but for your mind and spirit as well. May you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste. Thank you guys. Nice to be back. Nice to have live people.